Today we're finishing off the PC-98 games with Lotus Land Story and Mystic Square, the last two to look at. Instead of actually screwing around with new styles, Zune decided to actually refine games that he previously made, and, well, we're far better off for it. So without further ado, let's check out these two games and see how they compare. Let's begin with Lotus Land Story. The setup is that yokai have begun swarming the Hakure Temple, prompting Reimu and Marissa to go to the source of the weird energy agitating the spirits and do what they do best. Kill everyone and everything. Kinda violent for a priestess, isn't Reimu? At the end, they face off against a powerful yokai named Yuka Kazumi, from whom Marissa totally ganks her trademark attack, the Master Spark. I'd make an angelic layer joke here if I thought that anyone would get it. Something I forgot to mention in my Story of Eastern Wonderland review, each character has multiple shot and bomb options, allowing you to pick different configurations based on your playstyle. I personally prefer either homing or spread shot attacks so I can focus on evasion, but that doesn't make the other options less valid. Specifically in Lotus Land Story, you can select between Reimu, who works exactly the same as she did in Story of Eastern Wonderland, and Marissa, whom has more powerful bullets but a much tighter range of attack. A couple of refinements have been put into place since Eastern Wonderland, like the ability to hold shift to focus your shots and slow your movement speed, and the series' signature graze counter, which gives you extra points for shots that touch your character's sprite but miss their hitbox. Later games would take this even further, actually showing you the hitbox itself while focusing so you can graze more safely. The level design and enemy placement and attack patterns feel far more refined as well, making Lotus Land Story a much more enjoyable game to play than Eastern Wonderland. But the graphics and sound quality haven't taken much of a leap, still seeming on the plain side. It also scrolls a touch smoother than Wonderland, so things don't feel quite as jerky. While Lotus Land Story is a good game in its own right, it's easily and handily upstaged by the next title we're looking at, Mystic Square. The plot of this one, a massive quantity of demons are coming out of a cave somewhere, which is all the excuse our homicidal heroine needs to make sure that no one walks out of that cave alive. This time, however, she's joined by Marissa and the two previous final bosses, Mima and Yuka, in her yokai genocide campaign. The gameplay has also been refined further here, basically matching the early Windows games. It doesn't add anything particularly new, but everything feels more finely honed. The graphics and sound are also improved slightly, but considering the limitations of the platform, there's just not a lot you could do for it at that point. The only thing left to really mention is the fact that Alice made her first appearance in this game. Only she and Yuka would ever be seen again besides the main protagonist, with the rest of the PC-98 characters completely ignored by Zune, and all but ignored by fans. You'd be really hard pressed to find them pop up in any fan game or doujin. It's almost like they don't exist any longer. If you simply must play any of the PC-98 games, then make it Mystic Square. It's easily the most refined of the games, and is essentially a full-fledged modern Touhou game on the PC-98 hardware, which is impressive given the limitations. Next time, we're journeying to the Scarlet Devil Mansion as we look at the first Windows-based Touhou game, and probably one that a lot of people happen to know. See you then!